5. Today we have a whole lot, and it's good to be back actually. And I have with me in the studio Sharon Oneshu, who obviously since the 1st of August has been hitting the active citizens. And today I feel it's a good day for me to be in the house so that all the active citizens across the whole world will know that I'm still here in active citizens. I'm still the convener of the active citizens. I'll be bringing it your way. Now, Sharon.
Yes.
You've been doing wonderfully well with the queen of active citizens information. That's very good. So on a good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending where you're watching us from. Today, different things has happened across Nigeria, but due to the time limitations we have, we'll be taking very few interesting things. One, in the morning time, between the princess of active citizens, that is Ifomoji and Sharon, they voiced out the issue concerning one-term presidency. And I was not there in the studio, so I'm going to make my mark on that. But this evening, Sharon especially want to treat the issue of the unpaid salaries and soldiers blocking the finance house in Abuja. And that is the things we'll be talking about, and several other things. And we're being joined via Zoom by Tony Oji from Enugu, who is also going to deliberate these issues with us. So welcome to the show, Mr. Tony. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, good. So let me share. We're going to get straight to the point due to time limitation. First, the issue you guys treated in the morning, I just wanted to chip in before we get into the main conversation. And it has to deal with the P2B's tweet. What I think is that P2B is reacting to a threat. Because if Soludo is talking about one-time presidency, I mean one-time term of somebody that needs either psychiatric evaluation or brain evaluation, I think in that context, P2B don't seem to be somebody who has some amnesia or somebody.
Some of them want to come to...
It means that he may be referring to somebody else. Clearly, she should be referring to somebody else. But P2B's reaction is clear. Because I read his tweet, and in his tweet it was very clear that 2027...
Who said that? Must be sent to a psychiatrist.
He is going to do a one-time, and it is sacrosanct. And I believe him. If you do believe him wherever you are watching us, please go to the comment section and tell us your thought. If P2B says he's going to do one term, P2B is going to do one term. And that is what he has, sent in as a proposal to the coalition. That's what he's going to do. So the moment he joined the coalition, that's what he did. So we can see it on the screen. It's 110 term, 4-year vow is sacrosanct. One of the greatest American presidents, Abraham Lincoln, served only 4 years. Yet his legacy endures as a model of principled leadership. Another iconic figure, John F. Kennedy, did not even complete a full term, yet his vision and ideas continue to inspire generations. Let me cut it from here. Yeah. Now, Sharon, why I agree with him is not just because of the kind of person he is that we believe in, but is because to do good can happen in 2 years. You see, Nigeria as we know is run, by people who should not even be there in the first place. But be it as it may, and they are already there, repairing that very damage is something that you just block in the holes. Like Barack Obama said when America was, involved in some certain incident, he said that they found the distance, but they were able to connect the dots. You understand me? So P2B has been going literally from every region in this very country. He understands where those loopholes are. And it's just to connect the dots and block them. And then we'll be right where we are. So let me not take much of your time on this. You have already deliberated on it. But let's get the opinion of Tony before we dive into the story one. So Mr. Tony, please, very quickly, what's your thought on this?
Yeah, my view is this. I think there is this animosity going on. In fact, Soludo has some inherent bias against P2B. I think he wants to be in his position. He's been criticizing this guy for no just reason a couple of times now. The guy is telling you that he's making a promise, and he stated it smartly in his response. The Constitution says 4 years. It is our politicians that has elevated it to 8 years. Where is it written that you have to serve 8 years? It's 4 years. And within 4 years, you can achieve a lot. You don't have to do it in 8 years. So I think that guy, some people have mentioned that he is jealous of P2B. He wants to be in position of P2B. His interest, some people have said, is being president. He wants to be president of this country. And the way he's going about criticizing a good man from his own state is what many people can't understand. Why is he always on his neck? So I think he answered that, took care of that issue completely. So there's nothing else to say. Check his track record, check his utterances, and you will find out that this guy, if Nigerian politicians can be that way, Nigeria will be a good country.
Mr. Tony, on that. I think from what you said, Soludo has attained like the highest level of in his life. I mean, being a professor, our Igbo people call it Okamotuche, you know. So he has gotten to a level that aspiring for the presidency is the next. But I don't think that that should be his reason for always hitting back at somebody. But clearly, like I said, I don't believe Soludo is looking at it from the perspective of P2B when he said this. But of course, it's people are reacting.
It can be, you know, made to look that way, because you know he didn't expertly send the message to Anambra candidate only. He said any candidate.
Yes.
That were his comments, his exact words, any candidate in Nigeria. So I understand what you're saying. And
right now I know that P2B is not a candidate. Anyway, that is it. So Sharon, you have your take on this very military team blocking the distance. What do you even think about the people who are serving? We're talking about the retired people who are blocking the way. What happened with our own army when they protest? Is it because they have been closed, their mouth has been closed, that they can't even talk? Because there is one soldier that actually said they paid him either 50 or 80,000 naira. He wanted to go and visit his family. He got to the park, the transport alone cannot even fend for him, and he had to go back to his barracks and all of that. And I think they sanctioned the guy, so everybody is closing their mouth, even the army people. So what's your take on these pensioners and blocking the road? I think
that Nigeria has a very poor value system when it comes to civil servants and workers. Nigeria, it's very sad, not just Nigeria, the government does not have value when it concerns people who are working for Nigeria, even if it's teachers, soldiers, policemen. Wasn't it not the other day that police people were protesting as well, that after 35 years of service that they are being paid 2 million naira, which is ridiculous. How much can 2 million naira get a family policeman? Now the armed personnel are coming to protest, and I like the fact that they are protesting, because, sorry to say this, when Nigerians are protesting for good governance, they will be the ones that the government will send to come and keep these people in check. So it's good that Nigeria and Shege is reaching everybody. It's widespread. Everybody is collecting, both people that are rich, the elite, the poor people, the masses, even the army personnel. So I think that, number one, Nigeria has a very poor value system. They don't value Nigerian lives. That is why you will see that people will die like chickens in different states in Nigeria, and nobody is nobody has any sympathy. Nobody is doing anything. They just dash you money and you go and keep quiet. The next one will happen. So it's just crazy. So I think that for me, it just shows that we need to improve on our value system. Nigerian government, they need to see people as people. See human beings as human beings. Because tell me why you are going to owe a certain number of people 43 months salary, and your pensions and gratuity are not yet paid up until now, how do you expect these people that were not having any business on the side, just serving Nigerians, to survive? It just doesn't make sense.
You know, what you're saying just reminds me of a story that I came across today. You know, over the weekend, there has been this trending news about the expenses made by the dancing governor.
Oh, the 3.1 billion accusation.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, but you know, I've been following the news. I said, do I really think that this man will go into this kind of expenses? But you know, I'm kind of glad that he came out to say that he didn't actually spend that money that people should, you know, report correctly. Did you see that news?
I saw the message, and the first time when I saw the message initially, a lot of response and reactions came out. People started bringing up facts that I don't know if they are verifiable. Some people gave claims about the amount of money he spent on what's it called now, trainings, right? So they said that transport, the 3.1 billion, was spent in 6 months. So within 6 months, for transport, for not just the governor but other people to train them, right? And then when I heard that, it was really shocking and disappointing that a governor can make such expenses within 6 months. But it gave me relief, not just the fact that he came out to clearly say that he uses his family's private jets for most of this transportation, but I really like the fact that they made it open. They said that people can get a full breakdown of the state's expenditure, and people who want to see this full breakdown can apply for requisite information under the Federal Freedom of Information Act. So this was coming from the governor's spokesperson, Olawale Rashid. So this was what he came out to say, and this transparency is what I believe that other political office holders should encourage.
But there's reactions to this already. There's one tweet I also came across, I think it's by Demola Adesina or something like that, you know, who is emphasizing that Governor Demola Adeleke stated that he used to travel with his family's private jet. Of course, Davido might have a private jet, yet he spent 3.1 billion naira on travel within just 6 months. If this is correct, like you said, let them put up freedom of information stuff, because the government can always come and deny and say what, you know, what they want. But again, are governors spending excessively? Yes, they are. And I don't know about the dancing governor. You understand? I always like the man, the way he dances.
I like his vibe.
Oh, yeah. So, Tommy, let's get back to you on this. Just take these two things together. We have Atika Babaya, who said Nigeria is covered with corruption from ministry to ministry, department to department, and from different agencies and angles, every angle of government. So, Mr. Tony, what is your take on these two issues?
You know, have you heard or have you seen any country in this world, in the whole wide world, where the military personnel, the police officers are demonstrating because of their salaries and wages and retirement benefits and pension funds? It's only in Nigeria. I have, throughout my life, never heard of it anywhere, even in third world countries. But Nigeria has descended so low that you expect anything to happen in this country. And people are not ashamed. The leaders are not ashamed. These military officers, they are voters. The police officers, they are voters. They are being represented by people in the Senate and in House of Representatives. But what are they doing, actually? Are they speaking on behalf of these soldiers, their constituents? They are all afraid of the federal government. They are shutting up their mouths. They are not speaking out for these people. And they have now taken it upon themselves to go out and demonstrate. This country is, you know what they said? If you don't kill corruption, corruption will kill you. I think corruption is killing Nigerians. Remember, there was a time in the past that some government agencies and parasiters were accused of hoarding salaries, money for salaries. They will lodge it in the bank, wait for 3 months, collect the interest before they pay the workers. And they got away with it because there was no penalty. People disobey the rules and laws and even the constitution of this country. They get away with everything because there is no penalty, hardly any penalty. So what do you expect? The soldiers have to be paid. They have to earn their rightful retirement benefits. They are rightful.
Okay, very quickly, Tony, while we're still on this, I had this thing from Echoes of Nigeria that said that Tinubu gave $100,000 US to the Super Falcons each. If I don't know if you've gotten across such news, because I believe $100,000 US is about 1.5 billion. You think that Tinubu can afford that?
Of course, now, of course. They are our soldiers. He made mention of he could not afford to travel from his assignment to visit his family due to the high cost of transportation. The money he was paid wasn't enough for transport. So he had to go back. This is the situation we find ourselves in this country. Priorities are skewed. They just want to do certain things that will promote them. Now that the election is at the corner, watch out. Some of the policies of this government will be geared towards 2027. And that is very, very awful. That this government and even the governors, you remember the report that the American embassy kind of highlighted that some governors are living extravagant lifestyle because there's no checks and balances. Nobody controls the governors. They do whatever they want to do. What do you expect? When elections are rigged, they do whatever they want to do and they get away with them. So that's where we are. That's where we are. It's unfortunate.
Tony, let me take one more tweet here from Ettinger who says, and how is all that going in today's Nigeria? Last time I checked, retired soldiers haven't gotten their palliative SIM. Tinubu implemented it. If you don't protest, they won't listen. Ex-soldiers don't even have access to land. No soldiers, no country. Well, that one concerns all the soldiers. We have this one from Wednesday who said, on I never know anything. They were able to pay Falcon 100K, but we are owing police and army. So it means that this 100K allow to Falcon, Super Falcon may be true. Really, But the point is that they may not get this money. It's not today. We've been hearing things like this in the past. Even the guys that lost their lives, that died in the process, at the end of the day, they were not able to get any money. Even the lands that were allocated to them, they never got it. There was a point where even Bashali, came open saying that they are scamming him in the presidency because he wanted to host a boxing match in Nigeria, kind of legend match and all of that, and they are scamming him and all of. There's so many things wrong with Nigeria. As a matter of fact, the criminality in Nigeria is just. Do you say pro-max or
it's
stuff like that?
Nigerian politicians will say one thing, right? They will say this money it's white. You have to go and check if it's really white, and then they don't have a problem. Like I said in the afternoon, Nigerian politicians don't have a problem with making promises. They have A1 when it comes to making promises. Now the problem is who is going to enforce those promises? How are we going to ensure that there is transparency when it comes to how this money? Okay, for example, the 712 billion naira that was allocated to the renovation of the Murtala Mohammed Airport. How do we know that 712 billion naira would actually even go into the renovation? Let's not even say that the money is a problem. What are the measures? What are the systems that are going to be put in place to ensure?
Where are the problem?
Yeah, exactly.
We are the problem. The reason why I'm saying where the problem is that we don't hold them to account. You understand me?
Even if we try, who will answer you?
They don't need to answer you. You need to escalate it. And let me tell you something. My idea of 2027 had always been Bola Tinubu's administration versus Nigerians. You understand? It is exactly what Nigerians want. That is what they are going to see in 2027. And clearly that is about it. Holding people accountable is not until you go and start dragging the person for his abada, as the case might be. As we are seeing it, we are talking about it, then we are looking at the solutions. Like the solution that we are looking for 2027 is making sure that every polling unit is reported live. All those they are rigging, you know, go work for 2027. You understand? Whatever Nigerians elect, if they decide that it's Tinubu that should continue with the hopelessness, fine and good. If they decide that the new administration should come in, whether through the coalition, then let it be. Or Tony, what is your thought on this?
Well, I mean, I think the same thing applies to the governors, not just the president. They should be held accountable. Yeah. All of them. But how can you do that when they rigged themselves into that position, so they are not accountable to anybody? If you say something that they don't like, you get intimidated, you get threatened. All sorts of things will happen to you. So people are scared. They don't want to come out and say things the way they are. You know, I watched a pastor recently. This pastor, I forgot his name, where he comes from, was so outspoken. He said 2027, he removed his shirt and said, I am going to lay down my life. Enough is enough. And Nigerian youth, the people of Nigeria, should not let this continue. So that's the kind of temperament, that's the kind of action that is needed in this country. It's not talk. If you keep talking, nothing happens. You have to be ready to suffer the consequences, brutality, killings, memes, and all sorts of bad stuff to stop them. Otherwise, nothing happens. Cheap talk.
Yes, I'm talking about not always just talking about the problems, but also talking about the solutions. So what we, the active citizens movement, are putting up all the effort we have with our partners and the NGOs is about monitoring the election, starting with the Anambra State election. Then we move it towards so we are going to have volunteers, that's polling unit officers, volunteers, people who are going to look at what is happening and report live from every polling unit. Polling units are local, Sharon, you understand? Yeah. And I don't imagine why Nigerians will not want to have whatever they've casted to be showing live. So that is what we want to start promoting, so that by 2027 we will have a de facto IREV where Nigerians can see whatever is happening from every polling unit, and then at least that one is lawful. Every polling unit, the accounting result, we are seeing it. If at the end of the day Anna wants to cancel that polling unit, it will report it is cancelled. Exactly. I want to know the reason why it's cancelled and all that. You understand? Yes. So, in as much as we talk about the problems of Nigeria, at Active Citizens Media, we have to promote the fact that there is a solution, and the solution is in us. It's about us. Thank you very much, Tony, for being with us today. We look forward to having UC Maxwell. We look forward to having Shuen tomorrow. That is Femi, who joins us. All the active citizens across the globe, Roberts, Magnific, Dude, Noemi, and all of you. Join us. Let's start talking. It's time to start giving back the boss. Yes, Mr. Kanu is back. So yes, over to you. No,
I really agree with what you said, because rounding up now, you talked about the solution that active citizens have. I also saw a news recently where they were talking about the re-election of INEC chairman, since his tenure would be expiring pretty soon, and they're talking about who else to hire for that position, which is a very critical position for Nigeria. In as much as that is important, I like the fact that Active Citizens has come up with a system, to checkmate the INEC, to checkmate that body, so that we hold them accountable. Like you rightfully said, we can't all be running and trying to hold them by that. But I love the fact that digital, we can use technology to hold these people accountable. And this is my own clarion cry, that every Nigerian should become active citizens. You cannot give up on Nigeria now. If you give up on Nigeria now, where else do you have? Which other country will you call home? This is our only home. Nigeria is our only option. So this is a cry to all Nigerians to step up and believe in Nigeria again.
Yes, be active citizens.
Exactly.
I think that is as much as we can take. Thank you so much for being with us as always. Sharon and Ifeoma will always be here. And of course, your darling Mr. Kanu will always come here and do it. Will always be, every day. Morning, afternoon, and evening, you do not miss to join us. Like, share, and of course, make sure go and comment. If you know what we don't talk finish, make you go comment for inside. We need your comments. Thank you. Until tomorrow when we come your way again. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.